Welcome to the Christel Crawford Show. This is, I don't know what episode number, but this is our no pants.
Episode 8?
I think so, yes.
It'll be wrong, just watch. And I'll have to correct it in a post.
He's wrong a lot. Cheers.
That's what I'm here for. Isn't that what guys are for?
Yep, that's
to be wrong and to be thrown under the bus.
Thrown under the bus. That's what we do. Yeah. So today's topic, if you haven't yet figured it out, is first of all to have a very scratchy microphone, and also is divorceless relationships and having someone to throw under the bus with no pants.
Mm-hmm. I have no pants on, and it's refreshing. The breeze,
So my guest today.
Hi, Dominique.
Hi, Bobby John. Hi, Dominique. So for those of you that haven't met Jon Suk.
Just try.
I can't say his last name. He is a social media. You have so many titles, actually. Mm-hmm. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Christel's audio engineer, video technician, lighting technician, web backend guy.
Backend guy.
I take care of her backend. Awesome. That's the most awesome job. And what else is there? Social media, community manager, blah 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 blah.
He does websites.
Website dude, a photographer. Oh, I'm Christel's official entourage photographer.
Masseuse. Yeah. Bars.
Yes.
Runner.
Vagina ninja.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You win.
This is like an adult show, so I'm pretty sure I can say that.
Yes, he's very good. You're welcome. I had a point to all of that. I was going to have him introduce himself, and then I was going to say something smart, and now I don't have a point. So, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you guys for being here with us today. For those of you that are on the radio and can't see what we're doing, you can always jump over to Facebook Live if you want to see the shenanigans. But so we gather here together today to talk about this very serious topic of creating a relationship that works for you. So
serious.
No pressure, but does this relationship work for you?
Fuck yeah.
I didn't pay him to do that, actually.
It totally works.
It totally works.
Yeah.
We actually got into some really vibrant, fun conversations today in Foundation about relationship, and I facilitate Foundation. I'm an Access Consciousness certified facilitator. For those of you guys that don't know, Foundation is one of the core classes of Access, and I find relationship is one of those topics that a lot of people wonder about and stuff.
It's always top of mind. It's like no matter what the class is or what the subject is, this relationship pops up.
I did not want a relationship when I met Jon. I was just looking for certain energies in my life, and I'd done a lot of dating, and a lot of you guys, hi Christina, a lot of you guys have heard me talk about that. I don't keep a lot of secrets. Pretty much, if there's something going in my life, I post it on Facebook. That's my basic point of view.
I see it on posted on Facebook even before I hear it from you.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, where should we start with this topic? There's so much. Well, so a lot of actually what we got into in class today was we sort of ended up talking about our relationship kind of quite a bit about what works about it. And one of the things I noticed was that there was just a lot of questions about what we do that works. And so I guess we could talk about that.
Mm-hmm. And what we don't do.
What we don't do that also works.
And by the way, I'm a student in her class right now, so technically I'm sleeping with the teacher.
He really is.
Will that get me better marks? Yes. Awesome.
Yeah, he's passing Foundation with flying colors. Yes. So what is it? Is there things that stick out about what we do with each other that really work for you? Is there
number one, there's so many things that contribute to this working, our creation of us and us individually. What works really well. Number one, I would say, is allowance. No matter what, we are prepared to be as non-judgmental as we be, and to not jump to conclusion, to not, all these things, which to me really all point to having allowance for each other.
And then some days I don't have it. It's gone.
As long as one of us has it, it's cool.
That's true.
Hey,
That's actually true.
That's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, actually, that's true.
It's not like both have to be an allowance. It's just all it takes is one. So,
So how would you, like, for somebody that's brand new to Access, how would you describe allowance? Because actually you're pretty brand new to Access consciousness, and that's a very Access word.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
You're welcome.
It's like allowance is being okay with the other person doing whatever the fuck they want.
I love that you just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Amen. I have nothing else to add to that.
And that's not to say like you can't have a point of view or whatever. I mean, you're you, right? So not everyone you come into contact with in your life are going to be always the way that works for you. And that's how it is. And the way I see allowance in a relationship is that they might surprise you one day.
They always surprise you.
They might say stuff that like gets you all knotted up and torqued. And yeah, that's cool and that's happening. And what's important is if you can get past that, like getting torqued and getting all judgmental and like this is not working, this is crap.
I have a story for you.
Get out from under the bus, dust yourself off, and go like, what else is possible? Like, let's see what is this, right?
Yeah, well, that some of you have heard this story, but like John and I have been sleeping together actively for a number of months now, 8, 9, 10 months like that. And after we'd been...
I like to sleep as much as possible.
No, you don't. You keep me up constantly.
That's what I meant. I love sleeping.
We do a lot of no sleeping.
Let's nap. Let's nap many times a day and go to bed early.
But after, I don't know how long we dated before I put your stuff out, but it had been like
2.5 months.
2.5 months, okay. And we traveled to go see my sister at her wedding. We went to her wedding. We traveled together. We got back. I was basically like done. I was done. I basically...
You know it's doomed when I fly to a wedding. Like that's that's like the death knell of a relationship. Like go to meet family.
Yeah, so we went to see my family after I hadn't seen them for 5 years. And then we got back and I was just over him. I was like, you need to get out. I needed to make some changes in my finances and in what I was creating. And I was pretty convinced that that he was the problem. So, to have my own reality, I kicked him out, and I really did. It was Valentine's Day, and I basically... there's a longer story to that, but essentially I texted you.
It was like an awesome breakup.
Yeah, so I texted him and basically said his stuff was at the door to come get it. And then he came and got it, and he left some very cheap flowers in the kitchen.
Because Valentine's.
Right. And we spent about 3 weeks apart and just did our own thing. And I totally changed my reality. And I created the Mercedes I've done videos about and things like that. And then I get this text out of the blue. And when we broke up, I was like, I'm open. If you ever want to hook up, shag, whatever, text me. I'm liberal. And then so he did. So I got a text one night and he's like, hey, wings and beer. And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Code word for like, let's do something after.
You want to get together? So wings and beer. Like, what's the word? We did. We went out. Did. Yeah. And we
had wings and beer.
We actually did do that. Yeah. And then after.
It was delicious.
It was. I don't know what we talked about that night, but basically we, great sex. And we're like, what? Basically ask the question, like, what else is possible here? Like, what else is possible? What did we create before that really didn't work? And what can we create moving forward that does? And that was really the gist of the conversation. Would you agree?
Yes.
Or was there more to it than that?
Well, that's really the gist. That's the key piece.
Yeah.
And I want to come back to my place.
We basically agreed on a couple of things. We really like sleeping together. When we weren't trying to make it into a relationship or give it any form, structure, and significance, it was really great. And then for me, especially when we started to go into, you're my boyfriend and we're doing relationship now, I went into all kinds of crazy places. And so I was like, well, what if we just keep doing what works and eliminate what doesn't, which was really giving it labels and things like that. And that's it. And just keep moving forward, like one day at a time, one moment at a time, one every 10 seconds, and see how that goes. It was really that, was it?
And know that there's change.
All the time. I change all the time.
Yeah.
He changes
I change
all the time.
And
this thing could change all the time.
And not worrying about what that change would bring and not project our expectations. And it could be like tomorrow morning you'll wake up and go like,
get your shit out.
Buy a plane ticket home. But I'm in the Netherlands. I followed you all the way here.
Get out.
Okay. Hey, wings and beer a couple weeks from now?
Yeah, sure.
You cool?
Yeah,
all right.
No problem. Meet you there. Okay. And one of the things that's like changed there's so many facets of this creation that change my reality all the time. I've done a lot of videos about my adventures in dating and the fact that I date a lot, and I've been through 2 marriages and 2 divorces, and relationship for me was always this this topic of like this thing that I really wanted to get right, and kept feeling like I was getting it wrong. And so I went on an active quest to discover my reality. And so for all of you guys that have never done that or aren't choosing that now and would like to, I really encourage that. And what do I mean by that? I dated my face off.
It must have been really epic. It must have been so fun.
It was so fun.
I did a bit of that. Most of my stuff was pretty crazy dating. And then I met some awesome people along the way. And then I met Christel, like when I was least expecting.
Yeah. And so I got a really good sense of what really worked for me and what didn't in terms of dating. And I knew I was finally okay with the fact that I didn't desire a relationship, because I would kept getting into these mini relationships and then they didn't work. And then I was like, what am I doing? And my friends would ask me, truth, do you desire a relationship? And that's one of the questions you can ask yourself is, truth, do you desire a relationship? And if you get a no, then just sit with that for a while, because you're like, but that doesn't make sense because I keep wanting to date. So finally I was like, fine, I don't desire a relationship. And I would just let people know, hey, I'm not the relationship girl. I just date. And if that works for you, cool. And if that doesn't, cool. Are you wearing no pants tomorrow? Are we wearing no pants to class tomorrow?
I didn't know it was a no pants hashtag.
Is it a no pants day 4 of foundation day, everybody? We'll pass the word.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll have a poll. Is it a no pants? Well, actually, it's a better deal for me than anybody else, I think.
That's true. John is
my point
alone
of
in
view.
the room with 6 other women, so he's fine with no pants day.
Yeah. See.
What was I talking about? It's very important.
Everything's important, significant.
You have to talk loud enough.
Relationship. Okay, relationship. You know what? You didn't want a relationship, and if relationship means like having to say things automatically because it's time to say it and stuff like that.
And you take out the trash and
yeah,
I do the
and you're
dishes.
supposed to do this and you should have, and I feel like you don't care enough and you don't like blah, blah, blah. I don't want that. That's
not interesting.
That's not no.
So we really looked at like, what can we create that would actually work for us? Okay, the sex works. We really like each other. It's fun when we're not making it serious. So let's 7 other women. Oh my gosh, we miscounted.
Okay. Sorry.
Forgot about me. No, that's crazy.
Or your default. What default woman plus?
I've become default woman. Does that mean we're doing relationship now?
No. We'll destroy and uncreate that.
Oh, right, wrong, good, bad, fun, fuck, all my shirts, please. Because, so that's actually some other tool that you can use in your relationship is every single day destroy and uncreate it. And I forget to do it verbally, but I think energetically we do it a lot more than we acknowledge.
Yes.
But all that is basically you're taking whatever you created. Like people make relationships so significant, right? We make it so significant, and if we're creating relationships, then it means all this stuff. And basically, with that tool of destroying and then creating it every day, you get to wake up to a stranger every morning and go, "Hey, who are you? Like, what's possible today that I've never considered?" And I didn't really believe that this worked, and then I started using it, and it would change energies. Like, even if I went to bed with an energy and I woke up and I was still a little pissy, I would destroy and uncreate the relationship, and it would change it for me. So that's really cool.
It's super fun, actually.
It's really fun.
Because it's like I get to go on a first date, like every time we go out to dinner.
Yeah. And he gets to find out who I am. and so do I. Like, who am I today?
Yeah. She liked this yesterday, and then today it's like,
I don't like it
not
anymore.
cool.
No, don't do that ever again. Stop it. Gosh. My favorite thing about you, I actually have so many favorite things about you. And one of my favorite things about the way we're creating this is that I get to be grateful for you and get to be grateful for everything that you add to my life. Instead of expecting that you're going to do this or that or make sure that this or that is done. And every once in, I'm not going to say that I'm perfect, because if anybody's going to go to expectations and projections, it's me. Let's be honest. I'm the drama queen in the relationship.
And she also facilitates her way out of it too.
I do.
Which is totally awesome. It's like totally low maintenance. You're like the no maintenance offer car, right? Like, like no charge oil changes and repairs. And she's all like fixed up the next morning. She's done it herself. I don't even have to go like, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Yeah, Gary Douglas is the founder of Access, if you're new to Access Consciousness. And one of the things he said in a class recently is he said, just flat out, he's like, the purpose of relationship is to have somebody to throw under the bus. And that really struck me. Because I was like, wow, that's generally true. Hi, Torgen. Hi, you guys, by the way. All of you joining us. So the purpose of relationship is to throw someone under the bus. And it struck me because I was like, wow, I was noticing that the more familiar he and I got and whatever, the more I wanted to fucking throw him under the bus.
Thanks, Bobby John. And Sandra.
And so since he said that, it created awareness in my universe around the moments when I really do want to throw him under the bus because of whatever I've decided or whatever I'm mad about or whatever I think should have happened or whatever. And that's really cool because it gives me a moment of pause when I do want to be a drama queen and I actually want to make it about me and everything I want, regardless of him. And I would say if I get caught up in anything that's crazy, it would be projections and expectations. And there's these things in Access called PES Juniors: projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections. And the first two, which are the projections and the expectations, lead to separation, judgment, and rejection. And that's how I functioned in my past relationships, was I would project and expect, and then I would get upset and separate and reject and judge when my projections and my expectations didn't get met. That was relationship. That basically summed it up. There you go. You're welcome.
All right, next bus.
That's good.
Maybe if my current careers don't work out, I could be a stuntman.
You could be, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've been very good at avoiding the tires. Mm-hmm. So, with that as a basis for a relationship and with those skills firmly in place, I have had to really practice something different. I really do daily, I have to practice something different. And I have to practice it with him, and I also really have to practice it with me. And we talked a little bit today about the 5 elements of intimacy, which are allowance, which you touched on, and gratitude, and vulnerability, and honoring, and trust. And I practice these a lot too. One of the things that I know, and then I'll let you talk. Well, one of the things I was aware of right in the beginning was that trust is not just blindly trusting somebody that they're gonna, when they say they're gonna do this, they're gonna do it. They're actually gonna, the trust is knowing that that person's gonna be exactly what they're gonna be. And that's the way it is. And that's, if that works for you, great. And if it doesn't work for you, then, choose something else. And so that was one of the things early on that I started really putting my attention on with him was just observing, how is he? What are his habits? What is, when he says this, what actually occurs? When he does this, what actually occurs? And just observing what is.
Everything that I do, everything that I say and do and promise, just add half an hour and we're all good.
That's true. Yeah.
And then you won't be upset.
Right. And then and when I realized that, with the time thing, if he says a certain time, he's going to be 30 minutes later, or if he says a certain ferry, he's basically going to be on the next one for the most part, unless it's a surprise day.
Well, I'm the Time Lord. Time doesn't exist for me.
Yeah. So that was the thing I noticed right away. It was time isn't relevant to him in the same way it's relevant to me. And so I sort of function time sensitive, and he sort of functions not that way at all, unless it is. And then it's really last minute, right up to the last minute. Sometimes, so he's 2 minutes late. And so anyway, but as I started to just notice that and just notice it, I just had to go, hey, can this still work for me, or do I require something different? And I was like, no, it's the time thing. It's not relevant to me, and so I can just pock and pot anytime I get annoyed, because that's my projection and expectation of something that he's not actually going to do.
I love that. Okay, go, Christina. Let's see.
Yeah, totally. So that might be something you want to look at if you're in a relationship, or you're wanting to create one, is that projections and expectations actually destroy the relationship.
Completely.
That's the fastest way to kill.
It's a great way to leave a big smoking hole in the ground. Expectation. Just lob some projections and expectations.
Done.
Yeah.
So I actually am curious from your point of view. Like, is there one thing, or is there a thing that you have to practice being with me? Is it that conscious, or is it more?
It's becoming more practiced. I would say that not even really because of you. It's in the beginning, I would have judged myself more, even to go like, okay, so you're really conscious and totally on top of your game. So what can I do, and what can I be? And, so I had to be more conscientious of that. And that's less so now, because now it's like a practice of allowance and vulnerability and all those honoring. And I'm totally grateful for Christel. And as a result, I have just like a whole new appreciation for women. And I'm grateful for that awareness too.
Can you say more about that? That's the first time I've heard you say that.
Okay. Well, having been in these classes this week, especially in the Netherlands, because that's the deepest immersion into access classes I've ever had. And I realized that in our current reality, just how many expectations, judgment, structure, and obligation, and everything that all human beings go through, and it has become like more than just like a passing awareness of like things are tough on women and women's bodies and all of that I see in popular culture and media. Yes, I know that some women have body issues and that blah 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 blah. Okay, and through these classes, I came to be aware of just how crushing these expectations can be, how crushing and like absolutely, I don't know how to call it. It's kind of like a trap of being in a box of like, you have to look this way and you have to behave this way and you have to be that. And seeing that really just how it affects women and what it does to them, what it creates in their lives and what it creates in the lives of people around them. It's just like, I see it as completely unnecessary and total waste of time.
One of the things that constantly changes me in our relationship is how I was going to say how little you judge me, but it's like there's no judgment of my body in your world. There's actually just appreciation.
Totally.
Yeah. And that was
awesome.
And no matter what anybody else would say about my body, like I have a point of view about it, or 5 or 10, right? And I remember actually Gary recounting a conversation that he had with Dane. Sandra would like to get a version of you.
Where can I get a Jon? That sounds wrong. I'm just joking.
No, it's good. It's good. I was just saying, like your appreciation of me and my body actually changes my world all the time.
I'm thinking about your body right now, and things are happening. Don't change the camera angle.
And Gary was recounting a conversation that he had with Dane, and Dane was looking in the mirror and like hating his body, and Dane's beautiful, you know, and Gary said, gosh, like, what do you see when you look in the mirror? And Dane said something that didn't make any sense to Gary, and Gary said, like, what would happen if you looked at your body through my eyes? And I've been playing with that lately, like with the way Jon sees me and the way that I see me, and going, gosh, what would happen if I actually appreciated myself the way that Jon appreciates me? And that's been changing things for me. And I really didn't have a sense, like before you and I started creating this, what adding somebody like you to my life could change for me. Like I kind of had this limited view of relationship, and it's great because you get to have regular sex and they cook for you and there's like these perks. But the thing that I never considered is that you could actually be so grateful for each other and add to each other's lives so much that you could actually change each other's reality. And that is what you do for me.
And my reality has changed, and it's changing rapidly in all kinds of fun ways. And even the uncomfortable parts are fun as they create more. Like
what do you mean uncomfortable?
Like getting on this video with no pants on.
Hey, that was your idea.
Really?
I'm the one that... No, maybe
No.
not. Was it mine? Did I have that idea? I looked straight at him when he was getting...
I have wine, I don't know.
I looked straight at him when we were getting on the video. He had pants on. He's like, okay, I'm ready. I'm like, it's a no pants video. So 90 seconds. Oh, we've got 90 seconds.
Okay.
This is fun.
I dropped my pants.
So what's the moral of today's episode?
So be an allowance.
Yeah.
And drop your pants.
You know, actually...
Everything else they're just details.
It's so true. Oh man! And if you guys want more of this, I'm gonna do 30 days of divorceless relationships with no pants. We're gonna go through divorceless relationships together, and Jon's gonna guest appearance, and we're gonna just like start looking at what you really desire as your relationship reality, because it may be this, and it may be something else, and it really, really, really doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that whatever you create works for you. And that's what I'm interested in. So yeah, if that sounds fun, you can come join us. And otherwise, my favorite tool is destroy and uncreate your relationship every day and all of your projections and your expectations and your separations, your judgments and your rejections. And ask, like, what else is possible with this that I've never considered? And then drop your pants. Yeah, we agree on that.
Cheers.
We adore you guys. Thank you so much for being here today. And if you like this, give it a share. And otherwise, we'll see you later. Oh my God. Okay, bye.
Bye.